Are you ready to learn today? Let me tell you about British aristocracy. Imagine it's the late 1800s, 1900s, and you're a wealthy American heiress. You have a lot of money, but no title. Meanwhile, across the pond, there are bachelors who can't offer you a great sum of money, and that's okay. Daddy has enough. But they can offer you a title and a large castle. Easy decision, right? So you pack up 18 trunks full of ball gowns and diamonds and make your way to England, only to be carried across a drafty threshold of a cold, damp, deteriorating manner. Did I say that right? Deteriorating. Anyways. So, what is a dollar princess? A dollar princess referred to American girls from very wealthy families who married into European aristocracy. To put it simply, Americans wanted titles and European nobles needed money to fix their crumbling estates. Seems like a win-win to me. And for some, it was, but to others, it was an actual living nightmare. While the American Gilded Age was stacked sky high with monopoly money, the British aristocracy was in decline. Their estates had become money pits. So if you're a duke with a leaky roof and a title, suddenly the Vanderbilt dowry looks really good. And if you're a Vanderbilt in snobby New York who wants to get onto the Astor's 400 list, that leaky roof seems like a problem only you can solve. So, okay, I know what you're asking. What's the Astor 400? You ask from across the screen. Or whatever you're listening to this on. This is America's first and most prestigious VIP list. New York society was exploding with new money. You had the Vanderbilts, the Golds, Rockefellers, Carnegies. They had more money than they knew what to do with, but no social standing. That's when Caroline Astor decided somebody needed to draw the fucking line between refined society like herself and the nouveau riche, who might as well been fucking peasants to her. So she created the 400. Why was it called the 400, Kaylee? Let me tell you. Because that was the occupancy limit of her Fifth Avenue ballroom. The Empire State Building occupies her address today. The families on the 400 included the Schuylers, who we all know, thanks Hamilton, the Livingstons, and the Van Rensselaers. Also, did you notice that like the names I said before that she said were peasants are all names you actually recognize and not the ones I just said? Anyways, carefully vetted new money families could get on the list if they donated enough, married correctly, or threw the right balls. Famously, the Vanderbilts got on the list after Alva Vanderbilt threw a masquerade so big and grand, Mrs. Astor had no choice but to acknowledge her. That reminds me, get back on track, Kaylee. This is about American dollar princesses. Okay, I'm so sorry. See, this is why I go off tangents. This is why I read about the Titanic for 40 minutes today instead of getting on here and talking to you guys. Okay, one of the most famous dollar princesses was Alva's daughter, Consuelo Vanderbilt. Consuelo was in love with Winthrop Rutherford, but her overbearing mother wasn't having it. Rutherford came from a good family, but he still didn't meet Alva's high standards. All of Alva's friends had children who had married well, but none of them had titles. So she was going to make sure that her daughter did. Rutherford went on to marry Lucy Mercer, who you might know as having an affair with President Roosevelt. For Alva, only a duke would do for her daughter. But there are only 27 dukes among England's noble families, and they tend to marry within their social ranks or within their family. Yuck. Alva accepted this challenge. Her daughter was beautiful, educated, and best of all, really fucking wealthy. On a trip to England, Alva met the ninth Duke of Marlborough. There was an episode where I didn't know how to say that word, so I'm going to say it the English way. Marlborough. It's Marlborough. 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 He was also Princess Diana's sixth cousin once removed. The Duke already had a lady he loved, but he loved something more, and it was Blenheim Palace. Alva knew she had found the title she so desperately wanted for her daughter, and the Duke knew he had found a way to upkeep his beloved estate. Consuelo wasn't fond of English society. She found them to be snobbish, and they didn't want to cozy up to an American nobody, which kind of proves her point. The couple wasn't happy together and for years lived separate lives until they were able to divorce in 1920 after 14 years of separation. Her mom did support the divorce, so I guess it took quite a while for her mom to be like, whoops, maybe you should have married that Rutherford guy. Anyways, after Consuelo and the Duke's divorce, it became public just how much he profited from the marriage. $100,000 yearly, around $3.2 million today, and $2.5 million in railroad stock, which adjusted for inflation is about $81 million today. Yeah. Another famous dollar princess, Ginny Jerome, married the son of the seventh Duke of Marlborough, whatever. Lord Randolph Henry Spencer Churchill. I know you recognize some of those names. Ginny's family didn't want her to marry the son of some duke, and his family didn't want him to marry some American nobody. But Ginny and Lord Randolph Churchill didn't care. They were engaged just 3 days after meeting, but his family wasn't going down without some negotiations. They settled on a dowry of £50,000, which is about $1 million in today's money. 7 months later, their son Winston Churchill was born. Now, I may have gotten bad scores in math, but even I know that's a few short of 9. It's a few months short of 9. I think she was pregnant at her wedding. She was pregnant at her wedding. Most American women had a problem with their English aristocrat husbands keeping mistresses, but not Jenny. She saw Randolph's mistresses and said, I'll do you one better. Because her lover was the King of England. Her affair with the king opened up doors socially for other dollar princesses to emerge in the English aristocratic scene. There's a trend this episode, and it's Kaylee can't fucking pronounce anything. Anyways, Randolph died of syphilis at the age of 45, and Ginny went on to marry 23-year-old George Cornwallis West. Her son Winston was 19 at the time. Ginny loved high heels so much, she died for them. At the age of 67, Ginny fell down the stairs while wearing heels, breaking her ankle. This caused a massive hemorrhage in her thigh after a gangrenous infection set in. Cunty till the end. What's wrong with me today? Speaking of cunty, I would like to discuss Nancy Langhorne next. Nancy was born in Virginia, but this Southern belle had a plan. Marry rich, divorce rich, marry richer. And I won't waste your time with her first marriage, so let's jump straight to her second. After her divorce from Robert Gould Shaw II, so he was also from a wealthy family, she wanted more. She moved to London, where she caught the eye of Waldorf Astor, the son of American-born Viscount William Waldorf Astor. They were married just 6 months after meeting. Not even lesbians move quicker than the wealthy people of the Gilded Age. Like most dollar princesses, Nancy was educated. She was sharp when it came to politics and successfully ran for a seat in the House of Commons as a member of the Conservative Party. But Unlike conservative women in America, Nancy advocated for women's rights and social reform. Don't get too excited, because also, just like conservative women in America, she had a sympathetic view of Nazism. She also went on to have a very legendary feud with fellow dollar princess Ginny Jerome's son, Winston Churchill. She is quoted telling him, "If I were your wife, I would poison your coffee." And he responded, "If I were your husband, I'd drink it." Which I would expect nothing less from Ginny Jerome's son. The dollar princesses weren't just pretty faces under a tiara. They were educated, smart women navigating a system where their value was in a dowry. They were transactions. Some of these women endured miserable, even abusive marriages. Some held political power, and some gave birth to Winston Churchill. Now that's range. In a time when a ballroom's occupancy limit decided your value in society, these women were negotiating their identities in a way that still feels familiar. Today, we post on social media, tying our worth to views, shares, and likes. In some way, we're still figuring out how to make our name in society. And with that being said, if you liked this episode, please like, comment, and subscribe.